Why do you climb?
Oh my god, stop it.
Like, a lot of my friends ask me that question, and like, I tell them just 'cause it's who I am, and it keeps me off the streets.
Yeah, you like it?
When you're cooking in the kitchen, making something nice, open a piece of rice and get a hard on. When I start thinking about things I'm gonna do, number 9 and 10, start with you. Makes me wanna get up out my chair, come help you out with the dick in your hair. I know it ain't dinner, but it feels right good. Nothing like a supper in some evening wood. Oh, I get a hard on. Yeah. Time to go.
Take one.
I'm Mad Rock athlete Nate Draughn. Started climbing when I was, I don't remember what age, but it was like 2001. My parents joined a YMCA that had a climbing wall that was open from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. every Tuesday, Thursday, and from like 3 to 5 on Saturdays. And I was there every time it was open, without a beat. I was there. It wasn't regimented. It was a form of exercise that I didn't have to control. There were no coaches telling me how to do stuff. There wasn't rules. I could do it as much or as little as I wanted. And no one did it back then, which was kind of cool. I wanted to do it all the time. It was the only thing that mattered. And I slowly just stopped all these other sports, and that was that, man.
Come on. Got it, dude. Yes! Hell yeah, dude. Come on. Yeah, come on.
Come on, Nate.
Toe up there, bro.
You got this.
Okay,
So good at
Oh,
that.
I thought you were gonna lose it on the giant.
That was insane, dude. Oh my god.
Yes.
Let's go.
Moved to Boone to come to school in 2006. I got here, the Student Rec Center had just opened. It was brand new that year. And me and my friend John Glassberg started the App State climbing team in 2006, I think. And we went to competitions together, we traveled as a team, we got all psyched and went out climbing as a team. It's like some fairy tale, like having friends and boulders, and it's all simple. It's just like, that's life to me. I pretty much immediately just started skipping class, man. Like, I was so psyched to go rock climb. My mental state was so clear and I had such focus. Like I feel like a lot of time in life you're just like, you're all over the fucking place and you don't really know what you want to do and you're just doing something. But I knew what I wanted to do and I'd never felt that before. Second semester of college, I try to do better, man. My heart's not in it, but I end up on some Adderall, a drug that I guess helps you focus, man. It's poison. But like speed-related substances, it's the first time where I was like, I think this fits into climbing, dude. I can climb all the time. I can go to school because my day is no longer, I don't have to fit sleep into my day. My day is 24 hours now. And so that drug just like, it took over pretty instantly. It went with me everywhere. And if I didn't have it, I didn't go climbing. Drugs were always my solution, man. I never saw them as like an issue. They were the glue that held everything together in my mind. And I remember being out at Blowing Rock one day with Andy Fulton, John Glassberg, and buddy Mike Stam. We were trying this thing called Sledgehammer. And dude, I was trying to quit, and dude, all I could think about was drugs. And I walked up the hill and I was just like crying and shit and just kind of broke down, dude, because like last semester was so pure and fun, and like this pill that has taken all of that away already, I can't stop. And I didn't understand it. Some people had pulled me aside, like set me down to kind of tell me I had a problem. But I wasn't having it, man. I hadn't really experienced any real consequences besides like, if I don't have this, my life isn't fun.
I was pretty oblivious to it, or I just didn't notice, but I kind of started realizing he had some issues with doing a lot of drugs, doing a lot of uppers, and over the next year or two, it became more obvious to me that he actually had a problem and couldn't function at all without taking Adderall. When that like really hit home with me was me, Rami, and Nate. We all took a trip to Colorado.
So let's drive across the country, and we were gonna split up the drive. I couldn't find anything for the drive out. I drove for 30 minutes and I slept the whole rest of the way. He drove pretty much 24 hours straight. I like barely hung out with him, dude. I was like glued to this mailbox the whole time because someone was gonna mail me some Adderall. Felt so stupid. And then Ram and Tay were just like sessioning all the time, and it was just like, it was just sad. It started getting sad at that point. I could not put it down. And over the years, it just kept getting worse and worse, and I started climbing less and less. It just continued to take over my life, dude.
When he sort of made this switch to like taking a lot of downers, it was like very apparent and like really hard to be around him. Like, I mean, there's like multiple occasions where like he could like barely talk. He like couldn't hardly like stand up. He was drinking like on top of those, like drinking a lot.
So pretty much last night, Nate got drunk, started puking. We almost got arrested. So
You doing all right?
My face.
Oh yeah, my head doesn't hurt anymore.
And to see like what my life had turned into, like I just got more and more depressed about it. I tried to get clean a couple times going to meetings, and I just like I guess I hadn't had enough of it yet, man. And like eventually I just stopped climbing, lost all my friends, was stealing money, lying about doing boulders to try to get product from anybody, because I knew I had a clientele to like sell stuff to, and I knew stuff about climbing. So I was like, I can sell this and go buy, and I can get at least a pill for these shoes.
You know, just like slow, like just it got worse and worse, and I like tried to talk to him. I tried to be like, dude, you have a problem, like you're my friend, like I don't know how to help you, I don't really know what to do.
Summer 2011, I think. I got all psyched on this thing called Big Worm, and I had it in like 2 pieces. I was like kind of close, man. So one day I ended up out there solo, and I lied about doing this like the hardest boulder I'd ever done before, and like this old magazine called Dead Point wrote up this article about like this kid from the South that skipped V13, and I just had to go with it. They like wrote this article, did this interview, and then like, dude, no one in North Carolina had done V14 yet. And people would talk about it or like talk about me doing those boulders, and I would just need more and more drugs to just like keep the lie going and like keep myself up whenever people would talk about it and be like, all right, you gotta act like you can did it. This lie's been going on for a year now. Do some more shit so you can smile when they bring it up. Kind of hit bottom when like I finally graduated and I just had nothing to live for anymore. So I was just getting trashed all the time, and I just kind of lost touch of everything, man. Eventually I went to rehab, went there for like a month, went to Asheville, to a halfway house there. I relapsed within like 4 days. I was high again, and started shooting heroin. And before that, I was able to just like, I never really hung out with the drug community kids. I would just go get my stuff, come back, and either hang out by myself or go hang out with my climbing friends. And when I started doing heroin, dude, I just like, dude, it was awful. Like no, there's no good good people in that community. What the fuck keeps happening? It was just bad, dude. Like One time I went over to I went to my drug dealer to get my drugs, and he just put a knife to my side and said, "Give me your money." And knew I had money because I was there to get my drugs. And I get no drugs. I left with no money that I'd probably lied about and using for something else, and left. Eventually I got kicked out of the halfway house, pretty quickly. And then I went to rehab again, to detox. I got kicked out of there after 4 days, and my parents weren't talking to me anymore. My mom was like, "You gotta get 3 months clean. I don't wanna hear from you until you have 3 months." And I couldn't get 90 days, dude. I was like, I can't do it, so I guess there goes my mom. Eventually ended up in Greensboro, North Carolina, where I got clean, and I lived in a halfway house there for a year and a half. I got super involved in the NA community and started going to meetings. I just dude, I just listened. Whoever told me something and they didn't do drugs anymore, I listened to it. I was so willing at that point. They told me not to come to Boone for a year. They told me to make new friends. I started watching football on Sundays. I'd never done anything but get fucked up or go hang out in the woods with my friends on Sundays. At first I had this sense of entitlement of what the fuck, I'm Nate Draughn. I used to live with Jimmy Webb. I used to try boulders with Jimmy Webb, just some kid shit, dude. I used to have all these friends. I used to climb V12, blah, 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 whatever. And just to see where I was at now, I'm making minimum wage, teaching belay classes with some high school kids that they don't even know where Boone is. But I was able to take it as dude, I haven't shown up for anything or committed to anything in years. And I was just dude, just show up for work. And bit by bit, it was show up for work, show up for curfew, go to your NA meeting, just do what you tell people you're gonna do. That was probably the biggest thing I got out of getting clean, was just learning how to try my best. And if you do try your best, it doesn't mean you're gonna be Jimmy Webb, and that's okay. It's okay if you try your best and you don't become the best in the world.
He hit me up and was like, "Hey dude, I wanted to go rock climbing." And I was like, "Sick, that's awesome." I know he'd been clean for several months. And I was like, "That's awesome, he wants to go climbing again." I was like, maybe he's gonna get back into it.
Yes. Fuck yes, dude. I can do spreader. Yeah.
And we went and climbed for the day. It was super fun. He was the same dude, super psyched, high energy, brings up all the people around him. And he wasn't that psyched on climbing, but I mean, dude, at that time it was I don't care, dude. It was I got my friend back. He's a human again. Sick.
Kind of afraid to climb without drugs for a while, but I'd start going out by myself, and I'd do this little circuit up at this spot called 2 Mile, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna go. I don't care what I do, but it's time to leave Greensboro.
I mean, he's mending relationships with friends. He's making right a lot of the wrongs that he did in the past. One of the coolest things for me to see is him going back to these boulders that he lied about doing and being so much stronger than them and just doing them.
This past summer, I went on my first only bouldering trip. Like like I wasn't gonna sport climb at all. It was all to do boulders. And that was the first time I'd done that in like 5 years. And it was to a lot of the same places that like when I went with Taylor and Rami in 2012, like I was just a complete wreck. I went to Big Worm one day with Tay and he was like, dude, you can do this damn thing. I think you're strong enough. And I was like, there's no way, dude.
Yeah!
For him, like seeing like the association between like I'm healthy now, like I'm not doing drugs, climbing stronger than he's ever climbed before, having more success in climbing than he ever had.
Yeah!
That's sick.
I did all the moves that day and I was like, holy shit, dude. Like, what if I could actually do this?
Legend boulders, dude. Yeah! Sick. What a classic.
Wow. Right at the end of the trip, dude, like right before I had to go work, I fucking did the thing, dude. And it was like this moment of like everything had come back together and like I got my life back, you know? And I felt like I'd learned so much and I was still mad that like, why couldn't I have just learned this when I was like, or understood it when I was like 20 years old or something. And to actually go back and do Big Worm and to like not have to sit there and lie anymore or to like tell people I lied. I could just be like, fuck yes, I did it, dude. Like, here's the beta. I remember it. I fucking did it, you know? That was a super, super sick feeling, man. And I'll remember that one for a while.
Come on, Nate. Come on. Come on. Come on, Nate. Stay tight.
Yes, dude.
Sick. Come on. Come on. Stay tight.
Yeah, dog.
Come on, Nate. Come on. Come on. Stay strong.
Fuck yeah.
Come on, bitch!
Focus. Come on. Focus, babe. Breathe.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah!
Yes!
What you got here, Aaron?
Oh, that's to blow sweaty tips so that you have the friction. It's
like a fan.
Get her done!
Hey, no shame, Brent. Come on. This is why I really like Makita products.
One sec. Jesus. What the fuck?
What's your problem, dude? We're just filming it. We're just filming it, man. What you doing with that axe?
Thinking about Rom, dude. He sped up and I was like, oh crap, dude, he's like coming. Tight, dude. The fucking double stack. Jesus God.
Jesus God.
If y'all weren't psyched, I was gonna do 3 down here.